is 85 Yards through the heart of the South with me, Chayton Nine, my co-host Ryan McClincy here. The sports podcast for average sports fans by average sports fans, bringing the sports conversations from the bar to your living room. So raise a glass with me, Ryan. Cheers. Let's do it, brother.
How's your day going?
Good. When we film these on Wednesday is my by far busiest day. I have like everything kind of comes to a head for my week on hump day. I definitely am the living embodiment of hump day. So super busy.
It seems like that when we were like, oh, let's do it at 6:30. And then 7 o'clock comes rolling around and I'm sitting here like Steven Glansberg looking at my beautiful face on the monitor.
I feel like you probably are just like looking out, like somebody looks to their dad, like coming home or something, like, where's he going to come on? When's he going to come on? Like, and I just
checking my watch. Yeah.
And I suck about texting too. Cause like I should have been like, hey, I'm going to, be late, but I
give you shit for it, but like, I'm terrible at texting too. Like you can ask Haley. I'm the worst when it comes to that. Cause I'll reply to something in my head.
Yes. Same.
Like at least you have me on read receipts. So I know if you've seen it or not. Like, I don't do that. I don't do that. I just read it and then I like respond in my head. And then 3 hours go by and I look at my phone and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Or like she'll text me again and just be like, are you dead or what?
Are you dead? No, I had this full length conversation in my head with you. I'm sorry you weren't a part of it. Like, it's not my fault. Well, by this time every week, I really need one of these. I'm sipping on a Busch Miller latte, fine Pilsner beer. That's been my go-to lately. I've had Miller in there. And now my brother obviously works for a distributor. He's a Miller distributor, so I think that's kind of like the brand association. He's always rocking Miller gear, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to get it. I know. Need to start hitting him up for giving me these perks.
Let's get us a sponsorship going. Like, I'm not a big Miller fan, but hell.
If they're paying,
I'll take some money. Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll drink a Miller for some money.
Miller. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are you drinking, man?
Usually I've got my whiskey, but today the only liquor we have is tequila. So I made myself a little Paloma. You ever had a Paloma?
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Tasty. The glass is very appetizing too. That copper look. Yeah. I love that.
It's like the Moscow Mule glass. So it's not really probably made, quote unquote, to have tequila in it, if you will. But, my house, my rules. So
exactly. Yeah. Rolling with it. Hey, who cares? As long as it's tequila in the cup. What Lil Wayne say? Right. It's my cup.
It's my cup.
We got a lot to get to today.
That we do. Dude, just kind of like rolling into what we wanted to talk about. Did you see what Michael Jordan did?
Dude, I saw the headline. Fill us in, dude. Super exciting.
Well, I think it's like Haley, because Haley's a big NASCAR fan. I mean, she grew up watching her whole fan. Basically, like every male in her family was a race car driver at some point in their life. So she's kind of grown up around it, and she's always been a big fan. Dale Earnhardt predominantly. She missed a day of school when he died. So
R.I.P.
Yeah, right. Throw up the threes. But Michael Jordan, I think, made a genius business move and bought himself a single car racing team with Denny Hamlin. And then they basically, I think it's not going to happen until like 2021, but they're going to have their single car basically is going to be Bubba Wallace.
That's nuts, man. Jordan is the GOAT on the court, and Jordan is the GOAT at marketing and business too, man.
Dude, just imagine the fucking Jumpman going around in a circle for 4 hours or however long a NASCAR race is. Like, that's just, it's just advertising for yourself, getting for your own brand. Like, yes, it's insane.
Getting into a brand that you like there's no domain, like no one has crossed over really into the, I don't want to say NASCAR's niche, but NASCAR's, it is kind of like a condensed following that they kind of have. And so whenever you're branching over into that, bringing new viewers, but also still like everybody knows who Michael Jordan is. So even the fans in NASCAR are going to be, you know, I mean, he got into golf. I mean, people are wearing Jordans on the golf course now.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, is like Jordan Brand is so like, I mean, if you are a fan of Jordan Brand, like you are all in on Jordan Brand. So whatever it does, like you want it, you have to own it. It's like, it's the holy grail to you, if you will. And like, I like Jordan Brand, but I never kind of got that far into it. But just his name and that brand alone are going to net like just increase in viewership because of the amount of people that are just watching because Michael Jordan is now involved, right?
Yeah. Exactly. A lot of their stuff's flashy. Like I get it. It's not for everybody. I love the color patterns and stuff. Really, I don't wear a lot of their clothes. Their shorts are extremely soft. Their shoes. I've always had their shoes.
Dude, I wonder if he's gonna make like a racing suit now.
Oh, for sure. You're definitely going to see that. Do they like, so like, I'm sure they have specific shoes for it. Is it like a boot almost is what I would kind of assume, like a racing? I mean, I would think so.
Yeah. Like I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Haley probably could. Maybe I'll have her come on Sunday on the live stream and just give us a breakdown of all things need to know with NASCAR.
I'd be down with that.
Cause she'll be able to answer all that, but a fucking, a Jordan Brand racing suit. I mean, that'd be
making moves.
That's hot.
I can
see that on the street, bro.
Like you said, just
walking
a
down
giant
the street with it. Yeah.
Giant Jumpman rocking for Bubba. That's going to be awesome. So
dude, just hopefully he does better than what he did with the Hornets. So
yeah, there's only one direction to go from there and it's up.
Right.
So,
right.
NBA, talking some NBA stuff. Pivotal game for tonight. Also tomorrow night. We'll start with the Lakers. Decided really not to show up until the fourth quarter in game 3. You texted me, bro.
That was one of the only games that I actually because Haley and I started watching a new show on Netflix, and I just had it up on my computer, and so I was kind of like going back and forth. But that was really the only game I watched like beginning to end. And dude, they looked terrible. Like it didn't even look like they were playing the same sport. Like how many down the court, and you would just see like them attempt a fucking pass to somebody on the wing, and it just like careens off their hand, like directly into somebody else, directly into somebody from the Nuggets. And then it's just like, it was insane to see such sloppy basketball for so long. Like they never turned it around, it seemed.
No, they didn't. They came out and they really went through the motions early, and credit the Nuggets. I mean, they hit a lot of shots. I think it was, I started watching really in the second quarter. I was doing some other things, but I turned the game on and it's 29-27. Within 3 minutes, they're up 15. I mean, they just hit shot. Lakers was just turnovers. And really that was kind of the story of the game, because the Lakers cut it to 10 at half. They came out and they cut it to 5 immediately in the third quarter. And then the Nuggets just pushed it. And then you texted me and you said, dude, the Lakers look terrible. About 25 minutes later, I look at my phone. You said, holy shit, they're about to pull this out.
Because they were like within 3 then. And I was like, holy shit, dude, if they fucking do this. Like, it was the same as game 2. It's just opposite.
Exactly.
Right? And I think the Nuggets just kind of rode a lot of that energy that they had at the end of game 2 before, AD yelled Kobe and just fucking drained the game winner.
That was the big one for me. And that was the takeaway that I had, was that, the Nuggets, I thought in game 3, I thought the Lakers were just going to take their soul, because what they did in game 2, Nuggets should have won that game. And Anthony Davis hits a 3 off an inbound. Like, you live with that all day long. Anthony Davis can hit threes. I don't think you want him taking a contested 3 to end a game.
But at the same time, I disagree that they should have won that game, that the Nuggets should have won that game.
No, man.
Just because, like, okay, so then by that same logic, you would say that the Lakers deserved to win last night because they played better in the fourth.
No, I thought the Lakers should have lost both. Because
the same logic, though, because in game 2, the Lakers played way better. in the first 3 quarters, the Nuggets were very off their game, and then they had a big fourth quarter to cut it close, take the lead, and then they just couldn't get over. Same thing in game 3. Lakers come out soft. Up until the fourth quarter, nothing to really write home about, and then you have a great fourth quarter, and you come up short.
Right. It's rough for me to watch.
It's the same idea.
It's rough for me to watch these NBA games. One of the big takeaways that I have, and I always tend to tune in to the NBA now, like in the playoffs, but regular season, I could really care less. Honestly, it's so crazy to watch a game flow. 15, 20-point leads are nothing. Like as far as like how a game flows in the NBA. You get up 15-20 in college. And obviously it's a completely different talent, stuff like that. But I guess my point is that like those are usually like safe and held on to. NBA, that with especially with threes being shot and taken at such a higher percentage. I mean, that's 5 possessions and you've got it down to 5 again. I mean, it literally is in 3 or 4 minutes.
It's all momentum, like, I mean,
right.
We talk about momentum in football a lot. And it's hard to like really put a grasp on it because I mean there's so many things that have to happen in football for quote unquote momentum to go your way,
right?
But in basketball it's so much less. Like all you really need is one person to start getting hot, and then if that one person is hot and you ride that streak, like all of a sudden you're back in it, and then that momentum is shifted because of one person instead of okay, well we need the line to play well and we need the quarterback to play well, we need the receivers to get open, we kind of need something to break our way defensively as well. And it's like then you see that momentum. But I think like at 10 15 points, I think there was a moment last night when I was like watching the game and I looked down and it was like the Lakers were down, 9, something like that, with 6 minutes left. And I was like, that's a lot of fucking time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you get nothing safe. Till you get to under 2 minutes, really nothing under 10 points is safe. And that's been my takeaway.
Even a minute left, you're down 7. You're down 3 possessions.
Yeah, that's
that's
doable.
Not even safe. Like it's been done before.
Right. All right. Your gut. Do they take it in game? They take it in game 4. They end it. I think they take their soul if they win. Obviously, they don't end it. I'm saying they go up 3-1. It's over though.
I still think the Nuggets will get another one.
You think so?
I think it goes 6. Yeah.
Be interested to see that.
It's just been so back and forth. Like if the Lakers won tomorrow, I don't know that that's like the fucking nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? Like. I still think the Nuggets are a good enough team to come out and really push the same way they did last night and get another win. I still think the Lakers pull out the series.
Right.
But I think LeBron will come out and in prime playoff LeBron mode tomorrow because of how poorly they played.
I think they win. I think that they realize that, being an older team, like, hey, we kind of, if we can get the advantage of ending this series as soon as possible, getting any type of of rest. I mean, they're going to come out ready to go. Speaking of which, got a pivotal game for tonight with this Heat Celtics series. So obviously Celtics get one back, in game 3, they stave that off. It's, you go down 3-0. It's really tough to come back from that. I was interested to see how that game played out. I still am riding with the Heat. When it comes down to it, the Heat just have a bunch of guys that I feel like don't care. And whenever I say it like that, I don't think they have any guys that are afraid.
Well,
they weren't even playing.
This was no expectation.
Exactly.
They had no expectation that they would be here. So I get your point. I get what you're saying. I wonder if to an extent the Celtics overlooked them a little bit because of that
for sure. For sure.
And they were like, well, we're not, even though they beat the Bucks, we're not the Bucks. We're not, these other teams. Like we can come in there and just, dominate. And they looked it in game 3, to get that win back. I think they win tonight. I think the Celtics win tonight.
Really?
I think it goes 2-2. I think this series will go 7.
Yeah. Are you sticking with it? Are you riding with a pick for the series?
I mean, I'm going to go Celtics.
Really?
I'm going to lean Celtics. I just think the talent will be too much in a full series. Like, to this point, the Heat haven't had, I mean, they were, up until last night, they were 10-1 in the postseason. And their one loss came into the Bucks in an elimination game. Like, they haven't really had to win a 7-game series, you know?
To this point. Yeah. I would say that I think that the Celtics were really wrapped up when the series started in thinking that they were preparing to play Milwaukee all season. I mean, those were the two best teams in the East. Everybody thought that it was going to be one of them coming out. And then it's like a little bit of like, you know, oh, we thought this was going to happen. And now it's okay. It's the Heat. Like you said, I get your argument too of saying like, oh, we're going to overlook them because it's like, look, they're the 5 seed. Like we've won the season series against them. We match up well against them, etc. And then the Heat, after they beat them in game 1 and then came out and got game 2, I think that's what, that's why those guys were fighting in the locker room, which, going off because they're just like, what the hell is happening? Like this.
Yeah, dude, if you're Brad Stevens, like, what do you even do in that moment?
I just sit back and just say, yep, yeah. I'd love it though.
You guys played like shit.
Yeah. Did you see?
You guys fucking sucked.
Did you see? So it was mainly Marcus Smart in the midst of that like explosion in the locker room, like throwing shit and stuff. Did you see on Enes Kanter's Facebook and Instagram that like they were all laying out by the pool and like he and Marcus Smart were like wrestling outside the pool and like Marcus Smart throws him in it and he was just like, yeah, we squashed it or something like that. Like it was funny because like they were all just like wrestling and shit and it was pretty funny to see them like kind of smash it because I mean you're gonna fight. I mean teammates. I mean like that's totally. I mean, dude, how many times did we play 1-on-1 and get so pissed at each other in college? And we were like trying to like work out and get in shape. We get pissed.
Oh, dude. I think there was I remember one time in particular, and it was over the summer. It was on the outside court.
That's exactly what you're talking about.
And like I don't even remember what happened. Like, I think you, because I remember you got real pissed off. And I think it was because like I just threw up some fucking like out of nowhere shot, like going, like falling back, going out of bounds, something like that. And it went in and I thought you were going to have like fucking burst a gasket, dude. Like, and then, me, I was like, hey bro, just, stop me.
I mean, I remember that we walked. I was like,
it was complete luck, but
yes,
I'm still gonna talk shit to you.
Oh, you have to. If it goes in. That's the point of it. And I remember we walked back and didn't say a word until because like we lived like really close to each other, and I remember like we didn't say a word walking back, and I remember it was just like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. And it was
same time tomorrow.
Same time tomorrow. So I'm gonna roll with the Heat. I think that the Heat get it done. I think they win tonight. I'm obviously taking them for the series. We'll see how it plays out. It's gonna be
how many games?
If they win tonight, it's over in 5. I'm calling it. It's over in 5.
Wow.
It's over in 5.
Wow.
Done. You hear that, Eric? My Celtics, my Celtics homie, they're done. Stick a fork in them.
Nah.
They better win tonight.
You're gonna get fucking just stomped tonight.
Destroyed. I'm just like,
Gordon Hayward's back for the series.
I saw that somebody put with his new haircut. Someone took his picture of him at shoot around and like put it in black and white. And they were like, yeah, Gordon Hayward looks like a dude that was like the right-hand man with Chamberlain when they won all those titles in the 60s. Bro, you have to check it out. He looks like that. He looks like the guy like with the, no, yeah. Put him up, yeah, see? So
non-NBA news, though, we've got SEC coming up this weekend, which, don't you worry, Chayton, I'll get to that.
You got a little something.
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that after the break.
I need
to take another drink, collect my thoughts, gather myself and get ready to just preach the truth. This is my sermon.
Oh, we're all
sermons,
First Church of Ryan, college football edition.
Exactly. So, other college football news, though, kind of in line with what we talked about with Michael Jordan, but fucking Primetime.
Dude.
Dion Sanders.
Crazy.
Named head coach at Jackson State University.
You always wonder whenever these stud players, like who's going to make a good coach. Like that's always the thing. Like, you know, obviously like it's a lot of times like star players are not really coaches. Yep. I feel like it was kind of odd whenever I first saw that, like, oh, Dion Sanders is like wanting to get into coaching. I just figured he'd be a big personality to like want to be like on television and stuff. Like, I figured that'd be kind of more of his.
Is.
Right.
He
right.
Is.
And he's just so funny and stuff. But then, dude, I get it. Coaching college football. I mean, like, there's a lot of worse jobs you could have out there pre-retirement for him as a player. So and Jackson State, I mean, you're in Florida. You got a hotbed of recruiting.
It's not in Florida.
It's not.
I know. I can see why you would think that because it's Dion Sanders. Like, I could 100% see that.
You love how I just rolled with it like it was I was like, oh, yeah, it's Florida. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Florida.
It's Florida. Hold on. Don't tell me.
It's in Mississippi.
I was going to say Alabama, so I'd have been wrong, too.
Jackson, Mississippi. There's a lot of Jacksons, though. There probably is a Jackson, Florida. I mean, there's a Jacksonville. Florida,
that's literally what I thought. I was like, oh, yeah, Jacksonville. It was like the first thing. Like, oh, yeah, it's in Florida. Good God Almighty, save my ass right now, Ryan. Shit.
So anyway, I agree with you. Sometimes the best players don't make the best coaches, right? Like that's kind of like my worry with somebody like Dion is great player, but do they just expect everybody to get it? You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, like the players like, Michael Jordan, like Kobe Bryant, like LeBron James, like, Randy Moss, like Dion Sanders, they kind of can expect that people see and do things the same way that they did or would. And if that's not the case, are you able to like actually coach and teach them how to do it in their own way, but get the same results, right? Like, cause that's the kind of the toss up is a good coach can take whatever you do really well and make it so that the outcome is the same from what somebody else does really well. And it's really unique. And a lot of people don't necessarily have that. On that point, I was kind of surprised with Brian Hartline that he came in and has been as good of a wide receivers coach as he has been. Yeah. Right. Because like that was kind of my worry when he came on. Like, and granted, he wasn't like an outstanding NFL player or anything like that, but he was good. Yeah, for sure. He came on really strong in his upperclassmen years with us, and he kind of made his name, cut his teeth there. Moving forward, and even more to that point too. Like, did you see the staff that got leaked?
Yeah, yeah. You were telling me about
it's not accurate. It's not accurate. Like they all, like literally every single person that was named on his quote unquote staff came out and was just like, nah,
that's not
like,
that's
he can call on us anytime he wants us to come like speak, but nah.
you were naming like it was Warren Sapp was like their like
he was either like D-line or defensive coordinator or something like that. And then the other, I just glanced at it really quick, but they had Terrell Owens as the wide receivers coach.
Like T.O. is going to be a wide receiver coach in Jackson, Mississippi.
I probably wouldn't want T.O. to be a wide receivers coach.
There's no way. Honest. All right. Instead of running routes today, we're going to talk about how to ostracize yourself on the team if they don't throw you the ball.
We're going to practice celebrations today, everybody.
Yeah,
I know you can't do it in college, but we're going to practice them anyway.
We're going to practice passively aggressive, pissing off your quarterback whenever he missed you wide open in the end zone.
And then crying on TV about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to show you how to hold out, work out in your driveway. Yeah, I know. That's my quarterback. I know.
Dude, I forgot about the working on his driveway shit.
Whenever he was holding crunches. Out, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, with sunglasses on. He was like, I'm just working out.
Yeah.
God, he's in my, we'll get to that one day.
He's one of my favorite wide receivers for sure.
One of the best ever. Yeah. I think he's slept on. I mean, I really do. Like he's top 5.
I think he slept on because of all of that shit though too.
For sure. he was an awful teammate. Everybody hated him, but hey, who cares? If you get open, it's all that matters. Yeah. So,
well, let's take a break.
Let's do it.
Take a quick break, and we'll come back with my just nice, friendly message to SEC fans.
Yep, and I'm going to tell you who the best quarterback in the NFL is, and I don't even think it's close. Are you all ready? Are you fired up?
Welcome back. Just gonna do a
Ryan,
couple stretches.
You guys can't see this. Ryan is doing his getting stressed out, loosened up for this baptism he's about to put on us.
There's not a lot that I guess can really get under my skin. I pride myself on that.
You are one of the more difficult people to fluster that I've ever met in my life.
I'm just proud that you use the word fluster.
In my head.
Yeah, I like it though. There's very little that really just gets under my skin, and if I start debating, I just lose it. Right? One of those things. And maybe it's just because I live in Nashville now. I don't know. I'm surrounded by SEC fans all the time. Granted, there's a lot of Ohio State fans down here. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But way more SEC fans. And the thing that pisses me off about SEC fans is they're just, it's almost like a lack of loyalty. Lack of loyalty to your team. Lack of just, I guess, common sense. Lack of worldview, right? It's the number one argument that people make for the SEC is, oh, it means more. And if I hear one more person say it, I fucking lose it. It just means more. Shut up. Okay? It doesn't. And you know what? No, Ohio State would not lose 4 games if they played an SEC schedule, okay? It's not going to fucking happen, right? The fucking bottom half of the SEC is not so far and away better than every top half of every other fucking football league in the entire country that they're just going to destroy them. They're just going to do it. And it's not even that. Maybe you're not even an Alabama fan, but you're going to talk shit to a person using Alabama as your reference because your team is terrible. And I'm going to look into the camera and he can't see me, but he knows exactly who I'm talking about. Jacob, talking to you. I know you're listening and I'm talking to you. Be an Ole Miss fan. You are an Ole Miss fan. Just be an Ole Miss fan. Don't be an SEC fan. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. If I'm an Ohio State fan, it's not a secret. I'm never rooting.
You like Ohio State?
Another Big Ten team. Yeah, I've got it inked onto my skin.
Yeah, true.
I'm never rooting for another Big Ten team ever. I will never root for another out of conference team.
Bowl season.
I just won't.
Bowl season.
Nope.
I root for the Big Ten.
The only team that I want to win in bowl season is Ohio State. I don't care what everybody.
So you want the Big Ten to lose? You want the Big Ten to lose 8 games in
does it
bowl
make
season?
us look better when we just beat that ass the following year? Absolutely, it does. So I get the reason to want your conference to win, but I'm not actively rooting for them. Right? I'm not going to another game or a bar and chanting Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten because the Big Ten won. Okay. I'm just not fucking doing it.
The SEC, more so than any conference that I've noticed, they do root for each other. And it's kind of odd. It's
dude, I've seen Alabama fans root for Auburn. I'm sorry. If you're going to sit here and tell me that the Iron Bowl is a better rivalry than the game and you're rooting for your fucking rival, it's not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Well, and I also think too that in terms of those rivalries specifically, I think Auburn and Alabama, for the most part, there's the mutual hate. I definitely think Ohio State hate Michigan fans more.
I just choked on my Paloma.
You were just
maybe that's the SEC gods.
It's like they're strangling you
like,
in Tennessee.
Yeah, they're like, hey, just ease up a little bit.
They said, hey, no. Ohio State fans, I think, hate Michigan fans more than Michigan hates Ohio State. I don't even think it's close.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
that's 100%.
Yeah, for sure. But here's so with Alabama and Auburn, I'm definitely not as plugged into that dynamic. But I definitely if that's been your experience of seeing people for Auburn and Alabama root, I root for the Big Ten in bowl season, except Michigan. So that's my difference.
Yeah, I think too. Because the SEC is coming back this week. I mean, this is why I'm bringing it up, right?
For sure.
You've known this about me for a long time, but with the SEC coming back this weekend, it just and with the Big Ten not coming back this weekend, it just heightens that so much more because this fallacy in their heads that is the SEC better than the Big Ten as a conference? Yeah, absolutely. Is it so far better? Is it as much better as they think it is? No, I don't think so. I think if you played a conference to conference like crossover tournament, it'd be much closer than people would think.
I think for the most part, I think the SEC fans in their head think that the gap between them and the next closest conference is as close as the group, the Power Four over the Pac-12. And it's not that type of.
I think it's even worse than that. I think the difference that they see is like the difference from high school to college.
They think they're an
NFL. Like they think most of their teams should be in the NFL.
I mean, if you
based
took
on the way that they talk about it.
Yeah, if you took an all, I'd be really interested to see what a line would look like on that. But if you took an all SEC college team and they played the Jaguars, I guarantee the Jaguars are favored by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so
I said it 2 years ago when the Browns didn't win a fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
You put Alabama, who won the title that year, against the Cleveland Browns, a winless Cleveland Browns. The Browns probably still win that game. It's probably close, but the Browns probably still win that game.
I don't think it's that close, Ryan. I think they'd be favored by 8 or 9 points. I really do. They're pros and they're men. You got 28, 29, 30-year-old men as opposed to some 18 to 22-year-olds. I mean, it's just not even the same. Not even the same sport. I definitely, I have a lot of respect for the SEC. I do. I mean, it's top to bottom. I think the conference is, like you said, it's the best of the Power Five. We're definitely 2. I don't even think it's a question. And I think, as far as the Big Ten, I think that, like you said, I think that they try to say and domineer for the most part, like, oh, it just means more. It just means more.
And the whole narrative is like, well, they're grinding through an SEC schedule week after week. And it's like, okay, you telling me that I don't go to another conference and that team wants to beat me?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to give you everything that they possibly can. And like, I don't know, man. It's just like, it's absurd to me. This just idea that like the 6th best team in the SEC would just beat Ohio State by 2 touchdowns. They'd beat Clemson.
Well, I don't think
they don't even feel this way. I feel like towards Clemson. Like, I feel like this is mostly directed at the Big Ten. Like, I feel like this is mostly a Big Ten SEC issue. And then, like, you've got your little brothers like the ACC and the Pac-12 and the Big 12 that are like, hey guys, what about us? It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Let the adults speak.
I definitely think that there is no love. Here's the thing: they pump these. The media is in love with them, the national media, and they pump these. If I have to see Texas A&M pumped up at 8th or 9th to start the damn year, and they have 5 losses at the end of the year, and they still try to rank them at 25, I'm going to throw up in my mouth. They try to pump these shitbag middle programs that would just be the same middle of the road program. You put Texas Tech. You put Texas A&M in the Big Ten, they're going to be the exact same level of team. They're not going to change. They're not going to go suddenly just to win the Big Ten. Yep. They're going to be the 4th or 5th best team in the conference like they are in the SEC. Nothing's changing there. I mean, it's not. And I'm sick of them just pumping up, like you said, like Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas,
You hear that, Jacob? Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, for sure. Yeah, Florida. When the fuck has Florida been worth a shit since Urban Meyer left? If I have to see Will Muschamp and Dan Mullen, I mean, they're just recycling coaches from Mississippi State. And they're just, they're pumping them up that they're in the top 10 this year. They're going to have a great defense, and their offense isn't going to be able to score 14 a game.
Well, too, my favorite is the hypocrisy around the arguments, right? Because if this is a real argument that I had with an SEC fan, it was when last time Ohio State played an SEC team, played Alabama. Mm-hmm. What happened in that game?
We won.
But the best of the best. And Ezekiel Elliott ran 85 yards.
A5Y.
Through the heart of the South. And Ohio State won that game. So if you have an argument about which team is better, like, the Ohio State can't hang with the SEC, I bring up, well, what happened the last time Ohio State played the SEC? We won. It was great. It was a good time. And then the argument is, well, that was 6 years ago. You can't, this is different now. Like, it's a different Alabama team, blah, blah, blah. What's your all-time record like against the SEC? Like, what? You told me I couldn't go 6 years back, and now you want to know what the all-time record is.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to use that as a reason why Ohio State cannot compete in the SEC. It's hypocrisy. It's just straight hypocrisy. And when you call them out on it, well, the SEC plays an SEC schedule. Why don't you come and play in the SEC? Well, because we're in the big fucking 10. But you know what? There's tiers. There's no more conferences. There are fucking tiers now. You've got the tier 1 teams. You've got the Alabama. You've got the Clemson. You've got the Ohio State. That's tier 1, in my opinion. Tier 2, that's when you put in the Oklahomas and the Georgias and the Florida and the Wisconsin and the Penn State and, all these other teams that kind of are on the cusp, but they can never kind of put it all together. They just end up getting beat by a tier 1 team, right? No more conferences. It's fucking tiers. Like, just throw it all away. And I'm done. That's the end of my take. Fucking hate them.
You said you get it out. Did you get it out? Well, if you're ever wondering how Ryan feels,
I don't hate him. That's harsh.
The Southeastern Conference.
I don't hate him. I hate their arguments.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely tend to agree with you for the most part. Like I said, they're the best conference, but it's not by the margin that they feel it is. So I'm glad you got that out. Okay, so my biggest takeaway from week 2 for me, as far as one of the stories that it's kind of just been a reoccurring theme over the last few years. I don't understand how Russell Wilson doesn't get the love and the respect that my man deserves. So Patriots come down to Seattle. They make the cross-country flight, and Seattle just puts it on them. Again, 5 touchdowns for my man Russell Wilson to 4 different receivers, 287 yards for the game. That's just another day at the office. And it's like, I can't believe it's not the number one story that everybody has the next day. This second best statistical defense from last year comes to town, and Russell cooks them up. There's no home field advantage for them. That I would argue the Saints and the Seahawks probably have the best home field advantage in the NFL. They don't get any of that. And they just quietly, with no one in the stands, Russell just puts it on, pitter patter, put it on them. So I got some stats here. My take this week is Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in the NFL. And I don't even think it's close. I hear the blasphemy. I can see the eye rolls. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
I don't even think it's either of them.
Blah. It's Russell Wilson, and I don't even think it's close. I've got some stats. It's Baker, Ryan Tannehill.
I can't say that. Can't even say that with a straight face.
Can't say it with a straight face. So here's some stats for my boy Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson comes in 3rd round draft pick in 2012. Russell Wilson in that time, in these last 8 years, is tied for the most 4th quarter comebacks at 21, tied for the most game-winning drives at 27 since entering the league in 2012. He recorded in 2018 against the Detroit Lions a perfect passer rating of 158.3. Perfect. equivalent to a perfect game from a pitcher in baseball, and there ain't many of those. When you look at some other stats here, Russell Wilson is plus 269 in fourth quarter point differential in that time. Best in the NFL since coming in. So when it's clutch, that's all that matters. Russell Wilson has the highest fourth quarter passer rating since 1991 among quarterbacks with 500 or more attempts. In 2017, Wilson finished with a 134.1 fourth quarter passer rating, highest since 1990. My dude comes in to the league in the time that I've been alive on this earth and it's putting up numbers like nobody's business. And all I have to hear is, oh, but Patrick Mahomes threw 50 touchdown passes. When you look back at it, he wins a Super Bowl in his second season. They go to repeat against the Patriots in 2015, and for whatever fucking reason, they decide to throw it on the 1 yard line where Malcolm Butler steps in front of that pass and picks it off when Marshawn Lynch had the best season of his life. You can't fault him for that. The man should have 2 Super Bowls at this point. Even still, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. My boy Russell Wilson, the most clutch quarterback in the NFL right now, I don't think he gets the respect, and I don't even think it's close. He's the best quarterback in the NFL.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done. Man, I got hot. It got hot in here. Shoot.
He pulled a Dennis Reynolds, bro.
I am a golden god.
He peaked too early.
He peaked. I mean, am I crazy? I don't think I am.
So I don't necessarily disagree. I don't think I put him as 1B. I still give the nod to Aaron Rodgers as the best quarterback in the league. Like in any late game situation, if you were to give me Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson to win a game, I'm picking Aaron Rodgers.
Even with the stats and the knowledge that I'm dropping.
Because you said, what is he? He's tied with fourth quarter comeback wins with who? Aaron Rodgers. Brady. Yeah, okay.
Paid man.
So, don't give me that. Yes, is Russell Wilson good? And here's the other thing. I don't think he's disrespected. And he's the leader to win the MVP right now. Like, you say, oh, he goes out and throws 5 touchdowns and nobody bats an eye at it. No, they do bat an eye at it. They just come out the next day and say that he's the front runner for the MVP. That's not disrespect.
Yes,
okay?
it is.
That is very much respect. What I think the problem is that he peaked too soon. He comes out in his second year and wins a Super Bowl, and that's the fucking bar. He comes out and doesn't win a Super Bowl, he didn't live up to his own fucking bar. That's his bar. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes now. If Patrick Mahomes comes out and doesn't win a Super Bowl for the next 3-4 years, he's in the same boat. He's not living up to the hype and the expectation that he created for himself. My argument to that is that when you give Russell Wilson players and the man has people around him, look what he did early in his career. The last 2 years, that offensive line was rated by Pro Football Focus as the 28th best offensive line last year. Even still, my man decides to win 11 games. This year, they're 2-0. They got the Cowboys this weekend. I mean, they're going to get it done again. It's a patchwork line. The defense is nowhere near as stacked as it was early in his career. And he's just year in and year out competing in the toughest division in the NFL. It was not the toughest division.
Yes, it is.
3 years ago. It is now. It wasn't 3 years ago.
Not 3 years ago, maybe, but now.
It became the toughest division last year.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too. And they win 11 games in that division last year.
But they didn't win the division.
That's how good the division is. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying, though, is like, if you're going to say that for his entire career he's competed in the hardest division, that's false.
The last couple of years, my argument really hinges on it's now it is the toughest division, and he doesn't have anywhere near the talent around him, and he's still doing this. This is so.
Russell
what if he
doesn't
Wilson.
Win the division ever again in the toughest division? Do you still?
They're going to win it this year. I'm calling it right now.
But I'm saying, I'm giving you a what if scenario. What if he never wins the division again in the toughest, quote unquote, toughest division?
Oh, if he never wins it again, obviously that's going to tarnish the legacy. But that's a what if scenario, and I'm just speaking on what he's done to this point, and it's ridiculous.
So him winning the division, you calling him winning the division isn't a what if scenario? What if he wins the division?
I'll put it up here right now that he's winning the division this year.
So that's a what if scenario. That's all I'm saying.
There ain't no what if. That ain't no guess. That's what it's going to be.
That's what it's going to be.
You remember that from The Waterboy or whatever? They were like, Vicky Valancourt, what do you think?
No, that ain't no guess. That's what it's going to be.
She was like, Mud Dog's going to win 31-28. And he was like, that's a pretty good guess. How'd you get there? Guess? Ain't no guess. That's what it's going to be. So
Vicky Valancourt.
Vicky. See, you never know what you're going to get in my takes, but yeah, Russell's the best quarterback in the NFL, and
I just don't think he's disrespected. I think that's the argument that gets me is like I think a lot of people consider him the best in the league. So the idea that he doesn't get the respect and the notoriety that he deserves, right? I don't think is true. Like I put him over Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. For sure. Like I said, I have him 1B, like I think Aaron Rodgers, just because like Aaron Rodgers hasn't had like near the level of caliber player that some of the other quarterbacks in kind of the same breath have. Same thing with Russell Wilson. I mean, neither one of them have had the same weapons that like fucking Patrick Mahomes came in with, or like Dak Prescott even.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. I think they're both products of that's just what shows their greatness is that they do it with people that are on. I mean, when has Russell Wilson until DK Metcalf ever had a receiver that was good? Doug Baldwin was okay for a couple of years.
Doug Baldwin's really good. I mean, Tyler Lockett's really good too, but they had Josh Gordon for a minute last year, before he got cut. Again.
Josh Gordon out here hawking rings and shit like that. My God, Josh Gordon. So that's all I got on mine, man. What's just kind of staying with NFL as we kind of wrap things up here. Takeaways from week 2.
So and I don't think anybody can question this is the biggest takeaway from week 2, but dude, there were so many fucking injuries.
Dropping.
Like I'm thankful that my fantasy team, I didn't have really any of them on there. The only thing that really hit me was the 49ers. They're gonna have Devontae Adams, but he's supposed to be okay.
Right.
Like they did that, from my knowledge, more precautionary. But no, the 49ers, I mean, offense and defense just decimated. And dude, I was listening to fantasy football podcast. Matthew Berry, like that one, I forget the name of it. And I was listening to it, and they were saying like that a lot of the players were complaining about the turf being like really sticky, and like they were having trouble like moving because they were getting stuck, which obviously is really dangerous when, you've got a 300-pound man trying to tackle you and you can't move your leg, and all of a sudden there goes your ACL.
Yep.
Like you lose Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, and D Ford may not be back. You still don't have Richard Sherman. You lose Jimmy Garoppolo for who knows how long. Like he may come back this week. Who knows? Or next week. You lose Raheem Mostert. You lose potentially Tevin Coleman. Like,
that's your squad. I mean, that's too many.
Everybody, and you still don't have like Deebo Samuel. You still don't have some of your other key parts. Like, and now this week they have to go back to the same field to play against the Giants.
You basically just gave my entire handicap for the dog picks that we're making this week. My dog pick is definitely the Giants getting 4 for all those things. I mean, I don't know if San Francisco's flying back to San Fran this week. It wouldn't make any sense to.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I don't know why you would. But even still, players, body language, everybody bitching about the field, having to have the psychology of like, hey, 6 of our guys went down because of that field. So thinking all week, like, am I going to be next? Am I going to be next? With how this is played. And, everybody's going to say, oh, well, the Giants lost Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley really wasn't doing anything anyway. So I don't really think it's that big of a loss just for this one game. So I'm I'm taking the Giants getting 4. And then if I had to give kind of a bonus pick, we only take dogs on the show. I would roll with Sunday night. The Packers getting 3. Not necessarily a dog. This is a play against the Saints.
Dog if they're plus.
They're dog if they're plus. Yeah, dogs are live too. The Saints. I was really, really unimpressed by Drew Brees. At the father time with a lot of these guys. They're huge names, but it's undefeated.
Missing Michael Thomas. That
no Thomas
can't go understated
for sure.
You're missing the guy who caught, what did he catch? 150 passes last year.
149.
That's the guy that you're missing.
Right.
and his immediate backup is an older, injury ridden Emmanuel Sanders and Traquan Smith.
Yeah.
It's that is now you go from arguably a top 3 at the very least receiver in the NFL to those two. And
pretty big drop off.
Kamara hasn't looked phenomenal. He played really great this week, but if that's your only option, it's easy to shut down.
Right. I agree. All right, who are you taking?
So I also am taking Green Bay +3.
Nice.
I just think I don't see how you can turn that away, especially not just with how New Orleans played in week 2, but also how the Packers have played week 1 and week 2.
Agreed.
Especially if Devontae Adams is still healthy, which that's kind of up in the air. But I've also have Kansas City +3.5.
Monday night
+3.5. I like them to win outright.
Ooh.
But I'm taking the points just because they're there.
I'll crossfire you. I'll take the Ravens. We could definitely. I'll take that against you on Monday night.
So you taking the points, or you taking just straight up?
I'll give you. You can have the 3.5. I'll take the other side.
All right.
I'll take the other side.
Now I've got a third one.
Okay.
Which pains me because it's my squad, but at the same time, all's fair in love and war and sports gambling. So Washington +7 against my Cleveland Browns.
Logic.
Cleveland hasn't won a game within that point spread.
Margin.
Yeah, that margin. That's a better word. Washington, I think their defense has played really well. I think their fucking defensive line is leading the league with 11 sacks. Granted, 8 of them came week 1, but that defensive line is going to get after it. Baker Mayfield has proven time and time again when he is driven with a pass rush as good as that, he makes poor decisions. So I think that leaves you vulnerable to a couple turnovers. Secondary is not phenomenal. So, if they stick to kind of like that short intermediate game, maybe that helps ease the pressure there. But I think the Washington offense played much better last week as well. And I think they'll be able to keep it within 7 at least. I think that maybe they lose by 5, but it's kind of similar game to what the Bengals played.
Right.
But I think I like the points there more than anything. I still think Cleveland wins, but I like the points there.
There you go. That's all it's about. We're giving you out winners.
I'm 2-0-1. So I haven't technically lost.
2-0-1. Interesting.
While your boy Jay Booty over here is 1-1-0 because he got blown out on last week's picks.
What was it? It was the Jets, right?
No, it was the Vikings.
Oh, oh yeah, that was Cousins with 4 picks.
They ended up getting doubled up.
Yeah, Cousins with 4 picks. My God, my Titans are going to annihilate them on Sunday. That Minnesota team is just
such
bad.
a harsh drop off, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Like the Vikings, I mean, on defense in particular. Like, granted, I mean, yeah, you lose somebody like Anthony Barr.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big piece to lose.
For sure. Absolutely.
And you lose Stephon Diggs on offense. Like, that's another big piece to fucking lose.
And their window's coming to a close. That roster was so good for 5-6 years. That's all you get in the league.
Yeah.
So,
but,
all right, buddy.
Yeah, man. Do a couple plugs here just to get us out the door, get you off and run into your cleaning business.
Going to my next job. Yep.
Yeah, buddy. I'm gonna go have another Paloma. But as always, the last 2 weeks, obviously with Red Zone back up and running, we are doing our live stream on Sundays. So be sure and check us out. You can check it out either on Twitch. Our handle is 85 yards, or you can follow us on our actual live stream website, which is 85yards.live. We will be streaming pretty much the entire afternoon games. We take a little bit of a break to kind of catch up on not drinking for a minute, but we make up for it when we come back. Don't you worry. It's a fun time. It's a good time. You get to hear Chayton and I kind of just discussing what's going on in the games, talking shit to one another, because he is now actually 2-0 in fantasy against me on Sundays in the afternoons. Didn't want to say it, but you beat my ass in last week's match.
Hey, 2 weeks in a row. Let's get it.
So come check us out. We'll put the links in the description as well, so that you guys have an easy way to come find us. As always, 85 Yards is brought to you via the Buckeye Scoop Podcast Network. So I'm wearing my Buckeye Scoop shirt today, actually.
Scoop-a-loop.
I wear it every time we do a recording, but Buckeye Scoop is for you Ohio State fans out there, as you know, Chayton and I both very clearly are. One of the best sites you can find the most up-to-date, accurate insider information. It's where I kind of first heard basically everything in the know with the decision 2.0, if you will, with the Big Ten. So if you're a Buckeye fan, even if you're not, go check them out. BuckeyeScoop.com. You can also check out all of their podcasts by searching Buckeye Scoop anywhere you listen to podcasts. And then, as always, our good dear friends over at Cousin Bougie with our fantastic artwork. Shout out to you. You guys are amazing. Go check them out. They've got a lot of fantastic products coming up here pretty soon. I know they've been working tirelessly on a lot of new material to get to their followers and their fans. So go check them out. It's cousinbougie.com. Cousin as in cousin. If I need to spell it for you, then it's probably a cousin problem then for you.
Right.
Maybe in the SEC. Cousin Bougie, BOUJEE.com. Again, cousinbougie.com. Go check them out. If you like any of their stuff, be sure and make a purchase. Much appreciated. That's pretty much all we got.
Absolutely.
This has been 85 Yards through the heart of the South, of course. I am Ryan Boobs McClincy.
I'm Chayton Booty the Kid, Booty the KID. Nah. Good seeing you, bud.
Why don't you get closer to the mic and do that?
I'm Che Booty. Chayton Che Booty. Nah. Is that better?
It was much better.
Good.
Thanks again for listening. Go check us out. Search 85 Yards anywhere you listen to podcasts. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, download, whatever you feel like doing. Anything helps. We appreciate you listening. Until next time, Che Booty.
Cheers.
It's been a pleasure. Love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
Cheers.